standing in front of you for a display by the Royal Air Force Chinook.
That's incredible, look at that.
Once again, you have to realise how big this helicopter is. In Royal Air Force service, it acts as a lorry, it acts as a coach, it acts as a crane. Basically, anywhere the Royal Air Force goes, anywhere the British Army goes, the Chinook goes as well. One of the most famous, one of the most effective battlefield support helicopters anywhere in the world. This aircraft is also armed with 2 miniguns in the nose doors, just on either side, just behind the pilot, and then we also put a machine gun on the ramp at the back. I do. Display pilot today is Flight Lieutenant Rich Simpson, and next to him, co-pilot Flight Lieutenant Rob Paul.
He's brilliant. They are brilliant. Look at
that manoeuvre is one of these Chinook signature manoeuvres, a 270-degree quick stop, a kind of handbrake turn for a helicopter. But don't take your eyes off that Chinook. Just watch very, very carefully. Watch now as the power comes on. How about that? And now into a spiral climb. Once again, a handful of power, that helicopter working very hard indeed. But of course, there's no escaping the laws of gravity, because whatever goes up, at some stage, it has to come back down again. So don't take your eyes off. All the way up, and corkscrew all the way back down again. Operates the largest fleet of Chinook support helicopters after the United States Army. Been in service with the Royal Air Force since 1980. One of the hardest working aircraft types in the Royal Air Force, just because it is so useful, so versatile, lifts so much, carries so much. Now this is a somewhat unusual attitude for a helicopter, more like a fixed wing approach to landing. It is something that we do in training, just in case we have a problem with one of the engines. We can almost land this helicopter conventionally.
Now, is he simulating an engine failure right now?
He is indeed.
So he's really coming in with power to only one of the two engines.
That's correct, Rob. But once again, just keep watching that helicopter. Normally, of course, the nose wheel would come down on the runway and the aircraft would gently roll off. But this is a display, so we're not going to do that. We're going to hold that nose in the air, speed bleeding right off.
Now he'll restore power, I assume.
Or he's going to do something a little bit more special than that.
Oh, really?
It's found reverse gear. He's actually going to do a reverse takeoff.
How can he see where he's going?
Oh, well, he's very lucky. He has a crewman on board who's now looking out at the tail ramp, basically acting like wing mirrors for the pilot.
That's marvelous, just marvelous. There's real skill and dexterity.
And being the showman that he is, Rich will wait till he gets right to crowd centre before lifting off. How about that, ladies and gentlemen?
He's taking off backwards. Do not try this at home, ladies and gentlemen.
1 second, of course, because this has been so aptly described, ladies and gentlemen, as an elephant doing ballet. It is truly, truly stunning.
And bows.
And a huge bow.
I'd say. You know, I have to say that the new rules over Washington, D.C. deprive us of seeing very much in the way of aircraft at all, but we do see helicopters. And this is one of my favorites.
And it is a remarkably large helicopter, of course. Back in the Operation Corporate, early 80s in the Falkland Islands, a very famous Chinook helicopter. The one that didn't go down on the Atlantic conveyor was basically flown and flown and flown and broke all sorts of records for heaviest load, lifted the most number of people, carried. And look at this very, very tight orbit here Richie's flying.
Coming right at us.
Take a look underneath, you'll see some hard points underneath the fuselage. This aircraft capable of lifting very large underslung loads. Now this is the roller coaster. Rich pulls up, very uncomfortable.
He was floating in that seat for a moment. No, he was 0G.
And just to make sure, he's going to do it all over again.
When I refer to 0G, folks, that means that his feet will float off the pedals if he's not careful, and he'll actually float out of the seat if his belt isn't tight. It's like being in space.
Well, on use in operations, this aircraft can fly extremely low, what we call nap of the earth flying, literally right down in the weeds, or more likely right down in the sand, equipped with a range of sensors and defensive aids to enable it to get into very difficult places, do whatever it needs to do, and get out again. Now, earlier on I mentioned about the signature manoeuvre for the Chinook helicopter, the 270-degree quick stop, kind of handbrake turn for helicopters. Keep watching now, as I'm expecting that manoeuvre to be repeated.
All right. My eyes are on it, and I'm sure everyone else is watching too. Whoa!
Now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for some audience participation. You'll see the ramp has opened at the back. The crewman will magically appear on that ramp, and as we traverse sideways along the crowd line, he's looking at you, you're looking at him, he's waving at you, so wave back!
What a ham. What a pilot. What an aircraft.
Well, the entire fleet of Royal Air Force Chinook helicopters are based at Royal Air Force Odium in Hampshire. Whether you travel along the M4 or the M3 towards the West Country, these are a very familiar sight over Salisbury Plain. On exercise with the Army, they certainly do work very, very hard.
One heck of a job.
Absolutely.
Reminds me of one of my favorite little slogans, Green.
Well, of course, that manoeuvre you just see in the fiction aircraft would be called a stall turn. In a helicopter, we called it a pedal turn. And then a steep spiral down as well.
Normally,
So Rich is approaching the end of his display. Once again, in a fixed wing aircraft, you'd call that a wing over. But now as the Chinook comes directly at you, once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to show your appreciation. Flight Lieutenant Rich Simpson, co-pilot Flight Lieutenant Rob Paul, the Royal Air Force Chinook.
And not to be forgotten, squadron leader Andy Palsy, our commentator here, knows these fellows and works with them closely and does a wonderful job of sharing with us what's happening. Thank you so much, Andy, for being up here today.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Unravel the mysteries of rotor-head helicopters.
Well, it's a pleasure to be up here. And of course, you'll see the Chinook helicopter, well, at least once more today.
come back to Lincoln.
And incidentally, Flight Lieutenant Charlie Matthews, the Typhoon display pilot, we'll see the Typhoon display later on towards the end of the day, is currently in the pilot's tent. So if you'd like to meet a real In the Flesh Typhoon pilot. He's in the pilot's tent at the moment, which is located immediately behind the commentary position.
We have so much going on in this 3-ringed or 30-ringed circus called Biggin Hill, the most famous aerodrome in the history of the RAF, probably in our opinion, the history of the world. We've got pilots.